What's up, boys? We're back with some more Tower of Babel and the Spell Fist Brawler, where we punch people until they explode into a massive flurry of spells. So we've got fire skill cooldown reduction on basic and special attack crits, and I tossed that one legendary gem I found into this really nice chess piece. Hits have a chance to restore life for any hits, and then we have the same effect for lightning skills reduced on basic and special attacks. And we've got 15% chance to instantly trigger any available skill on a basic attack, so we do a ton of those. And then I've got a couple new things here. We get 50% attack speed on a critical hit, and 30% basic attack speed, so we can do a ton of those. And I did give up the 2 purge items, but we can build for almost any spell in the game now. Still running the 2 evasion things. I think those are too good to pass up. Then I'm going to try out some ball lightning. I feel like some of the other lightning skills are pretty weak other than the lightning storm thing, but we're going to test out some of them just to make sure. And the ring is one of the slots that is the least important to me right now. Most of my slots are so good I can't really pass them up unless we get something insanely good that's also a legendary there. But the ring wasn't super impactful, so we can try out ball lightning due to that. Ooh, curse. So we're going to bless that and pump that as high as possible so that we can do some farming runs. So I actually took a look at level 12, which I think is the final level in the game currently, and the normal enemies are doable currently, but the boss is so insanely tanky that I think you need to get basically 6 best in slot skills. That's actually not very good. I think I'm just gonna ban that, and we'll take the attack speed to help us proc stuff more. So the boss is so insanely tanky that on my best run so far, I actually ran out of time when he was a little bit below 50% health, and we'll get some early gold as well here. We're trying to farm as much as possible. So I think technically if I get all of the best in slot skills, and then I get ooh, 3 on the ball lightning, yep. And then if I get really good levels on the various important passives, I guess that's fine. Like crit chance, crit damage, and projectile amount, stuff like that. I think technically it's possible that I can beat him, but it's going to be very difficult to. So we're still doing a few runs and trying out some stuff here in the meantime. If I get a really good run here, I can make over 20,000 gold and about 5 or 6 legendaries with some nice curse and magic find upgrades. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. I don't know if Heaven's Judgment is all that great. We can try out here. So the main thing is that I want 1 very good fire skill and 1 very good lightning skill to go with the belt and chest jewel, and then 4 sort of fast-hitting / utility spells to heal me up and buy me some time with crowd control, stuff like that. Dragon's Breath doesn't really work with it because you can only have 1 copy of that, I think. You can probably ban mana restoration and then reroll this. Ooh, more curse. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of farming and get my chance of beating that stage up to maybe 10 or 15% before I do a video on it. Because then once we do a bunch of runs in a row, I'll have an okay chance of getting 1 run out of all of those. But right now I could throw 10 runs at it, and I probably wouldn't even get a single win out of all of that, just due to the insane DPS requirements on the boss right now. Double basic attack. So Lightning Strike, I think, is the best lightning skill, especially if you don't have any legendaries. Chain Lightning can be pretty good, but it's pretty legendary dependent, I feel like. There's one that has like a 15% chance to split into another projectile every time it pierces, which is very good. We already have ball lightning, so I won't take that. I don't mind taking a frost skill here to get some chill going on. That legendary ring actually does seem pretty good so far. 35% damage and stunning on top of that. It seems like it's going to be crazy as we get towards the later parts of the run here. I don't really need 2 into that, and Phoenix is one of the best fire skills. That and Meteor seem to be the best. Triple Heaven's Judgments. Let's go more gold gain. Fortunately, we haven't found the magic item finds thing yet, which is super important at 30% per level. I guess Corpse Explosion is fine. We'll have more enemies with all of the curse, so more enemies to explode on top of each other. Four on Purge, yep. Double projectile counts. Triple Purge or one curse. I think we will do that. I'll do some more ball lightning, really see what that one's capable of. Triple basic attack, yup. Another ball lightning. I just don't really care. Okay, we can bless magic item find and take that. And then combined with a curse, those two together will give us a ton of item drops. And I can usually end up selling everything for another 5 or 10,000 gold at the end of the run, which usually puts me over 20,000 total. We get some good levels on both of those together. I'm not sure if that works on the ball lightning. If it does, then it's pretty good. I don't see any sort of duration stat on it, so it might not. I guess it'll help the purge, and then that's about it. Crit chance is extremely important because the belt and the chest are dependent on crits, so you'll get more spells out, and then the spells themselves will crit more, dealing more damage on top of that. More curse. Cast speed is also pretty good because the belt and the chest are a flat reduction every time they trigger. So a percentage reduction applied directly to the spell before that is a pretty big impact. That's one of the reasons why I like this build so much. There's a ton of different stats that you might not normally benefit from that can benefit the build in some pretty interesting ways. I'll take a triple frost arrow. Probably take the basic attack so we can go for some of the levels that give like attack speed, range, and projectile count, stuff like that. basic attack. Double attack speed, that's fine. Magic finds. Double crit damage to go with our quick chance. So I guess this is the punching balls build. Magic finds. We're punching balls to make as much money as possible. We can toss a reroll, see if we find anything higher. Double range is not bad. More balls. More balls. Double corpse explosion, that's fine. Double cast speed's pretty good. Magic vines. Balls. Even more balls. Magic vines. Double attack speed. The game is pretty grindy so far, I will say, but I haven't really minded it that much because there's such a huge variety in the legendaries and all. There's like always new stuff to test, I feel like. So you're constantly grinding, but there's always new and fun stuff to try out, so it doesn't really feel that grindy. It's pretty fun still, I feel like. I'll get some more gold. Oh, is that guy running from me actually? We should try and chase him down. More purge. Though we do only have 2.5 minutes left before the boss spawns. Seems like this is actually a pretty low legendary run, unfortunately, though. Might still get a couple off the boss with the extra magic item finds levels, though. Basic attack. balls actually can't penetrate that far with this many enemies. We might need some piercing chance for a build like this. Duration, I don't think that's that important. More balls? Yep. We really need an option to turn damage numbers off. You literally can't see anything under the damage numbers. Double range. Let's get the crit chance up a bit. That's not very high yet. Cast speeds. Well, kind of late for that now. I think Purge will help the most of the boss here. Attack speeds. So 17,000 gold, and selling off all of these items will probably bring us over 20,000 here. See, Ball Lightning 4.6 million, not bad. Phoenix is generally pretty good, and it doubled that, although it's only level 1, so 11 levels will certainly make up that much damage. I can't even see all the items I got, it looks like, on the screen. None of the legendaries are listed on there. Crowd controls reduced by 25%. Doesn't sound that great. Physical skills, not bad, but my chest is already really good. Dark skill critical hits on enemies below 50% increase critical hit damage. That's worded in a very weird way, and that's also warrior, right? Yeah, can't even use that here anyways. $25,000 gold almost. Need a lot of damage, so I've mostly been raising dexterity. A little bit of vitality when that's cheap. And then I sometimes get that just to get the kind of global bonus there up sometimes. The percentage there is pretty important as well. Ice Orb is a pretty good slowing skill. We can ban resurrections. We can ban special and then take the cast speed or piercing. Probably go there. But yeah, Ice Orb might actually be the best cold skill, triple range up for this build because you can only have one copy of them out. So the item that triggers a skill on basic attack probably won't use that up on the Ice Orb while it's already active. Swamp is pretty solid. Crit chance is fantastic. Double basic attack, very nice. Magic, we can bless that and start pumping that up. Don't really need any of these, but Corpse Explosion seems fine when we're scaling up Curse anyways. I guess we'll take the Lightning Strike since it's available. Save us some rerolls, and I think it's the best lightning skill anyways. I haven't seen any legendaries for it though, so those could potentially make it insane as well. Ooh, triple basic attack. Spinning Blade, I think I'm gonna take the early XP. Double life regen really isn't that important. Critical will also improve our healing by simply triggering more spells as well. Triple pickup, I'm fine with some of that. I just usually don't take it at low rarity since it's pretty low value, but it's kind of nice if you get that many levels at one time. Probably just level up the Lightning Strike here. Triple basic and purge. Ooh, that's tough. I'll probably take the purge for single targets. And we still need a fire spell. Let's get the gold here and then check how many different spells I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5. So we have one slot left open. We have to get a fire spell for that. Double basic attack. I guess we could get some piercing, or attack area is fine as well. Does anyone know what runes actually do? From what it looks like in the panel, they just upgrade the legendary affix that's already on the legendary? That's what it seems like. So we'll take that to pass. But it's so rare to find like a good legendary with 2 slots and a good affix. And then you need the specific runes that would upgrade it as well. Double Phoenix. Lock in our final fire spell. Nice crit chance. looks like we're gonna have a very high damage run here, so hopefully we can get some curse to go with that. Crit damage. Double corpse explosion. I think the lightning strike is actually better if they're close. Ooh, curse. We can bless that. More early XP. Double crit chance. Double swamp. Magic find or double orb. Yeah, we'll take their magic finds. Double purge or phoenix. Let's take the phoenix, I think. Basic attack. Magic finds. I'll do a bit more XP, I think. Still pretty early in. Double XP? I guess so. Four times? Absolutely. More curse. Could use some more crit damage to go with all of that crit chance. Double basic attack or lightning strike. Magic vines. Lightning strike. Well, that's annoying. Right at the end of my punch range. Crit damage. Do some more crit chance, get that super high on this run. Basic attack. Triple Phoenix. Let's toss a reroll here. Cast speed. Double Phoenix. Honestly, the crit chance is probably the biggest damage. More curse. Triple Ice Orb. I think that's more damage since we're so focused on fire and lightning spells. Can probably reroll that. Triple range, yep. I guess Scold's fine here. I don't think I've ever seen more than one legendary off of Mimic, so I don't think Magic Item Find actually works on them. They just seem to always drop the one legendary. Projectile counts. Double attack power. I guess Gold's fine here. Not a ton of time left for it though. Definitely too late for that. I guess probably just damage. Phoenix. So we're actually getting about one rune per run as well with all of the curse stacking. Phoenix. Light strike. It just sounds like a basketball with all the detonators dying instantly. Magic farms. Double cast. attack speed to trigger our spells more often. Triple Phoenix. We're about to fight the boss though. I'm just gonna grab the magic item find, see if we can get an extra legendary out of that. Triple movement. It is kind of helpful, but magic finds. Dash out of that. That's a lot of bullet hell coming at me. Wow, one legendary with that much. What a scam. So only 13.6. We'll still probably be fairly close to 20,000. 3 million on the lightning strike, 4.9 on the phoenix there, with some extra levels on that. That's a lot of mana, but I don't really have a lot of reason to use it other than just survivability right now. Oh, we got upgraded boots with the exact same mod. Well, that works. Good mix of runes now, although one of those is a duplicate. What do we get from upgrading that? A tiny amount of armor, and it says it gives evasion, right? But I upgraded a weapon, and it said I would get attacks per second from doing that, and I never got that. So it looks like some of the secondary stats you get for upgrading are actually bugged right now. So that brought us up to just under 20,000 there. Everything is getting so expensive now. I'll just pump the damage and see what that does for us. Not really getting close to anything there. Alright, we'll take a quick look at level 12, but in only one run, I'm probably not going to get lucky enough to actually have a chance at killing the boss here. We basically have to have Lightning Strike, either Meteor or Phoenix, Purge, and then 3 good utility spells. Probably Swamp of the Dead, 1 good cold spell for some chill, and then 1 other one. And then you need very high levels on the passive stats as well. Projectile count and crit chance are extremely important there. So you need a lot of stuff to align to even have a chance at killing the boss. And we can banish like Curse and meta progression stuff with that. Piercing, that'll be good if we get Phoenixes. It's not a ton else, but maybe we'll take some of it. The stat requirements are just so high, you definitely can't afford to take any of the meta stuff if you want to beat it currently. Attack speed, attack power, both pretty good. This will improve our healing by triggering spells more often as well. So we can go ahead and banish both of those. Special attack doesn't really help much, so we'll reroll here. Double basic attack is good, and we'll probably bless that here. Actually, projectile count and crit chance I think will be the best. So I guess well, I'll do one of those and then one of the others. It's easier to find basic attack, I think, and that'll give us some consistency in the early game. Plus, you add that meta progression that makes it a bit more likely to get that. I guess we'll have to take Ice Spike here if I want to save my last reroll. I don't have anything for Chain Lightning. Oh, I guess I could try Ball Lightning since I still have the legendary on for that. Probably should have grabbed my other ring that gives me the status effect based stuff. triple XP. That's a very nice start. We could have grabbed Lightning Strike, but definitely don't think we can pass that up super early on. Chance. I guess we can bless that and then lock in the Phoenix. Purge. For some extra single target damage. These are not the greatest. Blood is okay. We can grab that for the healing. Damage is good. Double attack speed. Oof. I think we have to reroll that. Basic attack is fine. But we want to stay on just the one lightning and fire skill so we can have all of our preach spell triggers always go to the one that's at a pretty high level. We don't really have the range to safely hit that guy currently. We can just punch guys at long range and then have our spells do the work though. Double XP? Yup. Phoenix. Corpse Explosion is junk here and won't really help us against the boss, which is the main issue. Double movement. It helps out a little bit. I guess we'll take that. Basic attack. Double crit damage. I'll take some evade here, since that gives us very nice survivability and a little bit of damage with the ring effect that lowers cooldowns when you evade. Did I get one of these? Yeah, we have Ice Spike, so I guess we'll probably lock in Swamp then. Different slowing effect and has some very nice AoE damage to trigger any of our healing effects a bit more. I could take Meteor Strike. It does hit a lot. Special attack is completely useless. I guess we'll try it. Probably just the blood whirlwinds. Chance. Yeah, we need to get that going. So duration actually isn't bad here. I think cast speed affects more stuff though. Probably results in more healing as well. I think Meteor Strike. Oh yeah, one thing I've found is that you actually get a lot less legendaries on this level as well. Like, I typically average less than one legendary when I make it all the way to the boss level. So it's very hard to farm if you're not fully clearing it as well. And then since you can't take all of the meta progression levels, you also get a lot less gold on top of that. Let's go Purge for the single target damage. Double Blood Whirlwind. I think that's more damage and a lot more spells actually with the fire and lightning effects. Swamp. Projectile count is very important. A chest, right? I think so, so that's not going to beat our double legendary that's fully enhanced. Probably Phoenix. Fire is just more valuable than Dark with the current setup I have. Double range. Double crit chance. Double piercing. Probably helpful. For the ice spikes and the Phoenix. Double swamp. I think single crit is better though. Yup. Crit damage, I think so. Triple basic attack. Evade, I think, since I get this damage and survivability. Double basic attack. That should be the most damage here. Yup. So this is the very hard basic enemy wave, but evasion does a lot of work here. Double meteor strike. Probably basic attack. Triple meteor or crit damage. I think we'll go here. Attack speed, probably. Double Phoenix. Damage is not bad, but we're still pretty far away from being able to kill the boss, I think. Purge. Duration? That'll work on Purge, Whirlwinds, the Meteors. Yeah, it's probably more damage than the Whirlwinds. Doesn't really do a whole lot. I'll take a double purge. Cast speed or attack power should be pretty close, and that's more healing. Away, we'll probably save the magnet for right before the boss to absolutely maximize the levels here. Double attack speed. Double whirlwinds. I guess so. I think double purge will help more on the boss. Magic hammer, nope. Critical hit damage should be the best here. Double range. Oh, I don't have a lightning skill, do I? Okay, we almost certainly lose this. Yeah, I don't have lightning strike or ball lightning. I didn't even notice that, oops. Crit chance. Probably swamp. Double crits. Meteor. So these large blue balls actually have about 3 times the hit size of their graphics, so they are very dangerous. Then he has a bullet hell effect, then he charges around and does a little cleave after that. And then the circles on the ground are super dangerous. You almost always want to charge those just to be safe. He's actually dying very quickly for some reason. Was he nerfed? I didn't see any patch notes recently. And I don't even have a lightning skill. maybe I could have used a little bit of mana regen. Ow, oops. Well, better than taking 2 or 3 of them there. Huh, that was actually pretty easy to what I saw last time I tried them. We got decently lucky, but not like crazy or anything, so that was a bit surprising. Not bad actually on the golds. And I completely messed up the build with no lightning skill as well. 5 million on the Phoenix and 4.2 on the Meteors did a lot of work. 2.4 on the Purge. Seems a bit low, but the AoE on it isn't really that high, but it's definitely one of the top single target skills. We had a very high basic attack, some decent projectile counts, some pretty good crit chance and damage, and we got a lot of XP early on as well. And we actually did get quite a few legendaries, considering I had none of the meta progress stuff there. Alright, let's go take a look at those, and I think that's the highest level in the game currently. Top of the Lord of Nightmares, I can't deny you now. So he wasn't the last, the summit still lies ahead. This place is deeper and stranger than you know, greater trials await, grow stronger. Cold skill hits, okay, so that's actually pretty good. But I like the generic one I have. Magic Hammer spirals out. Purge emits a divine beam from purging light every 2 seconds. Oh, that sounds interesting. I guess we could try that and just skip the fire skills. That's the only fire-related thing I have now, and it is fun. But we can use that for lightning, and then that gives even more healing off of those. So yeah, I could try that. It has very nice armor as well. Another one of those. But mine has 2 sockets. Decent stats other than that, though. Okay, did we find anything cool there? Nope. Purge is already pretty high level, can't do a whole lot else for that. So yeah, looks like that's all that's in the game for now. That was a lot easier than he seemed last time. Like, I was straight up punching him for around 5 minutes, and then when the timer ran out, he was a little bit under 50%. And we messed up the build pretty hard there as well, with no lightning skill. So he might have been nerfed. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.